Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome back to PBTV. I'm Stu, and we are live on YouTube and Facebook as normal. Welcome back after the weekend. Hope you managed to get out and play. We had a really good day at Proving Grounds yesterday. Loads of players. Really good day. Hope you did too. So, again, we've brought out a bit of a comparison video today. People seem to like these, just giving a few tips and questions and stuff from yourselves about which optic is different, better, anything like that. Again, an optic from one to another isn't necessarily better, but they are different and they serve different purposes. So if you have a favourite style of optic, by all means, comment down below. We can show some variations of the different versions of like dot sights, holographics, magnification, and how different ones can affect your gameplay and probably make it slightly better. We've got a range here going from the sort of entry-level stuff, budget, magnified, obviously the short dots, and the expensive stuff, and the Vortex warranted stuff. So we'll go through. Any questions at all, please drop them down below. We'll flash them up on screen and make sure you get your question answered as quickly as possible. So the first one that we'll look at is the new Vector Optics, it's quite hard to say, TMC 1x22. So this is a very, very sort of simple, basic projector style red dot sight that has multiple different colours. The bonus with this one is it's very similar to one of the other ones that we've got, but it is quite a wide aperture. So what we mean by 1x22. So it is a 1x optic, so it is 1 time, so you're seeing the same as your eyesight. There's no magnification or anything like that. And the 22 is how wide the glass is, or wide the tube is, or how wide the objective lens is. So as you're looking through this, because it is a 22 and it is a flat pane of glass, you do get a very, very wide field of view. So some optics, because they're magnifying or have quite narrow tubes on them, they can sort of stop a little bit of your peripheral vision. With these ones, these are really, really good to get a full eye view of what's going on in front of you, not miss someone sneaking around the side or anything like that, but they do give a nice clean dot to be able to pick a target. This one, again, takes like a Watch 2032 style battery, and what you can do with this is rotating it. Rather than having numbered sets of brightness, it has a dial, so you can fine-tune it to the exact brightness that you want, and obviously it has red and green brightness. The reason why we have brightness settings a lot of the time is indoors, you want it quite low because there's not that much light out indoors. It's quite dim. You don't want the dot to be brighter than all that around you, because otherwise you're not going to be able to see past it, and it is very, very bright. Is that suitable for an assault rifle? Yes, absolutely. Any of these will fit on AEGs. Obviously, the short dot can go on pretty much anything, ARs all the way to snipers and everything like that. These dots, very, very cool for ARs, SMGs, anything like that. None of the ones I've brought out today are for pistols, say. I've not brought any of the RMRs out because we've covered them in a previous video. These are just dots and magnification. But any of these will fit on an AR. So you do have a very, very fine adjustment on the brightness for this, meaning that if you are inside, keep it super low so that you can see past the dot. If you have it too bright, it's like looking into a little bit of a torch or too bright of a light, and you won't see beyond it. It almost silhouettes things. If you go outside, it's a very, very sunny day, you're then not going to be able to see your dot. So what you can do, you can then turn it up really, really bright. It just makes it easier to see. The bonus with this one as well is you have multiple different projections, shapes of dot, we'll call them. So you have a sort of target, a crosshair, a circle with a dot in it, and a single dot. So again, you've got personal preference of which one you're going to find better. Again, outdoors you could be using the cross, so it's easier to aim off and give yourself a little bit of lead. But when you're indoor and running CQB, you just want the cleanest, smallest dot you can get your hands on, which is on there. Again, really, really versatile, very, very cool, and also with the shroud and everything around it, it is protected from sort of knocks and bangs and anything like that. What is the best optic for CQB? Complete personal preference, to be honest. Off the bat, most people will say a T1, a dot sight, a holographic, or anything like that. But personally, I've used short dots in CQB. They go all the way down to 1x anyway. But if you do have quite a variety of a sight, so if you've got some CQB bits and some outdoor bits, it is adjustable and you can wind it all the way up to 3 to 4 times. And again, even in CQB, if you get into a static position down a corridor, you can still wind it up and get some clean, nice shots using the magnification on that. So there isn't a best but there is a preferred preference, and normally it is sort of a dot sight or a holographic. And again, you could throw the magnifier on there just to get a little bit more. But if you are looking at being a regular CQB player, I'd look at the Vector Optics sort of T1 style or the holographic style. Moving on to the new Vector Optics 1x22. So we've seen countless of these styles before. The simple tube with a dot in there that has 11 degrees of brightness that you can put a CR 2032 in there. You have windage and elevation adjustment. The reason I've brought this one out is obviously it has a very, very sort of lightweight high mount. And what's really, really cool about this is in the past, you used to have 4 screws in the bottom. You had to undo them, put new screws in it, and put a different mount on it, and change all sorts of bits about to change it from a high mount to a low mount. What they've done with this one, it is the same screw that you would adjust your, sort of attach it to your platform with. When you take this off, the actual mount itself is simply a small bit of riz. So you don't have to worry about any screws in the bottom of your optic. It is just good to go. So you can put this on as a low mount, or you can simply click it onto your bit of riz and run it as a high mount. Very, very simple, much, much easier than other systems. Just giving you far more options, especially if you've got different platforms and you wanted to swap it out between different things between games. You can stick it on the high mount, stick it on the low mount, and you're good to go. Most of these optics do come with little protectors, so when you do put them back in your bag, you can just simply put the cover on and make sure they stay protected and don't get banged and dinked everywhere. Will you be getting the RMR and the mount for the Ares L-Can, the L85A3? Looks a bit weird without it. I'll have to check the mounting specs on it, purely because we do have various amounts and various different RMR style optics in at the moment, so some of them might fit already. But we don't currently have the specific RMR in separately for the L-Can, unfortunately. If you send us a message, a reminder on Instagram, and I'll definitely look into that for you and just make sure any of our current sort of Vector Optics or any of the Vortex might fit already, because finding them separately can be a bit difficult. So we then go on to another multi-site. So this is a multi-dot red and green from a new brand called Phantom. So this is very similar to the first one that we looked at, but without the shroud or anything like that. So you still have the multiple choice of style of reticle that you want to look at. Again, crosshair, circle with dot, or simple dot. You've got all them options there. Rather than it being, obviously this allows it to be much more streamlined and narrower without having to have the brightness modifier on the right hand side, giving it a bigger profile. This is all neat, tidy, and in a streamlined view. And obviously what that means, if it doesn't have the shroud on it, you get even more peripheral vision. So when this is on and you're looking through it, you'll almost not see any of the optic. It kind of disappears into your blind spot naturally. Mount this a really good spot on your AR and you'll have a lot of fun with it. It does have dots, a sort of numbered brightness on this, so it's not as bespoke as the first one. You can simply just click it into the different dots that you want and leave it there. You are good to go. Very, very good for CQB, meaning that no one's going to creep up into your peripherals. You're going to see absolutely everything in front of you and nothing's going to get hidden by something that you're using. Again, another one from Phantom, one of the new brands. This is the 551. Again, a staple to Airsoft. These have been around for a long, long time and people absolutely love them. Batteries go in the front. You just throw the lever down, take the cap off the front and stick your batteries in there. Again, this one has multiple brightness and multiple function buttons on the back. So pressing either one of them will turn it on, and you've got loads of different adjustments up and down, and pressing them both together turns it off. The NV mode, so obviously normally on Real Steel Optics, what that will do, it will turn the red version off and turn it into an IR, so you can look through it through night vision. On Airsoft ones, pressing the NV one just simply turns the dot green, because obviously IR systems inside can be very, very expensive, so it is simply a different colour. It's not a true NV system in this. It's just swapping between green and red. Again, these are very, very popular. They especially in CQB, they take loads of bangs, hits with the shroud around protecting it. These are very, very good and last a long, long time in CQB. On the right hand side, you do have your windage and elevation on the same side, making it very, very easy to adjust this even on the fly. You choose a penny or something like that, you can just slightly adjust it. Please be aware when you get some of these optics, the adjustment are slightly different. Some of them will move the dot physically, some of them will move where the BB lands. So just take some time, do it nice and steady. If you're unsure how to zero an optic like this, just ask someone on site. Most airsofters being around, if they see you zeroing, you just ask for a little bit of help. They're more than likely to just give you a little helping hand. If you're ever at proving grounds or anything like that and you want your gun zeroing, just give us a shout. I'm more than happy to help you through it and guide you through how to do it. At any time. There's plenty of time for us to sort that out for you. Coming on to something slightly different. This will combo with pretty much anything that we've looked at so far. So this is the Vortex Micro 3x. Extremely popular at the moment. These things are absolutely nuts. For the size of them, giving you an optional 3x magnification on any optic. So we've got the 551. You mount this behind it. It's instantly a 3x optic with something you can then simply click out the way. So this just sits off to the side, and then when you need it, you just click it into place and you are good to go. It is a QD mount, so pressing the little button on the side, flipping that open, it will click on to your rail and you're good to go. So you can take this on and off as you see fit. Just one of the best probable additions to an optic set that you can get is a sort of very good, clean magnifier. If you're running dot sights, means you can go to CQB, you can just run around as you see fit, and then throwing one of these on just gives you that little bit extra sort of versatility. You can just click it across, make sure you're getting clean, nice single shots off, and it's really, really good. You do have a diopter at the back just for a little bit of focus, making sure you get it quite right for you. And again, the actual caps on the top of these for your elevation and windage are actually the tools to adjust it. So when you take this off, just spin it round, use that little flat piece, and you'll be able to very, very, very finely adjust the zero, because you have to zero the optic and the magnifier. A lot of people just throw these on and expect them to work perfectly, but you do have to do a little bit of zeroing with both of them. Always zero your optic first, zero the magnifier second. It is a much cleaner and better way to do it. So then coming on to what is the brand new Vortex UH1 Gen 2. So the Gen 1 versions of these, even though they are a little bit expensive, they were still very, very popular, purely because of the Vortex warranty. As long as it's not done deliberately or maliciously, these do have a lifetime warranty and can get fixed or replaced, which is excellent for the amount of money you're spending on them. The main difference that I noticed with this one after the last one, so the old one used to be about 400-ish grams. This is now down at about 320. So when it comes to something this size, that is a massive, massive weight reduction. And when you've got this in your hand, it is very, very light. Obviously, it's designed for real steel, so you have that build quality as well. Runs off a CR123 battery, which is included in the box. And again, this is a QD system as well. So pressing the little lock lever there, the lever comes out, you can attach it, lock it in place, and this thing is going absolutely nowhere. Combine this with the Micro 3x, and you've got a setup that will work absolutely anywhere. CQB, outdoors, absolutely amazing. The optic on this is very, very different to anything most people have seen before using the standard sort of airsoft projector style ones. This is a true holographic, so it is a little bit fuzzy if you look directly at it. What you're meant to do with this is look past it, look at the target, not the optic, and it'll clean itself up and be really, really nice. Looking at it through the magnifier, sharp, very, very sharp, pin sharp, and really, really cool. Obviously, this one has the NV button as well. You have the plus and minus for adjusting your brightness, and again, pressing them both turns it on. This one does have a true NV, so pressing that does turn it into an IR mode. So if you do have night vision, or you have a night vision mount on the back of your AR, it does work, and you're not it's not too bright on your NV and blowing it out. So you can run that super, super dim, and you've still got a nice clean view. Again, with this, it does look like a very bulky system, but once this is in front of you and you've got it mounted up, it will sit in your blind spot nicely, and you will barely see any of this as you're running around. Do really, really like these. They are obviously quite expensive, but with the warranty and everything, it's just it's peace of mind, and you've pretty much got it forever. Would it be good enough for a GBB rifle? That's Shane on YouTube. Don't know which one you mean, but absolutely any of these will work on a GBB. There's not many. There's the whole thing about things throwing their zero off and everything like that. It does take a hell of a lot of recoil to throw the zero off on optics, purely because the style of adjustment that's on these, you are rotating you're twisting a screw inside a hole. So for the GBB to actually unscrew that, very, very unlikely. Some of the cheaper dots, maybe, possibly, because they are on grub screws, they could slightly twist. But again, Airsoft GBBs aren't throwing that much recoil back that it's going to adjust them that. The UH1 isn't going to budge at all, but you may, on some of the extremely cheap ones, lose a little bit of zero, but not something you're going to notice in Airsoft. It might throw the zero off a few mils, but nothing that you're going to notice, really. And again, if you are wanting to be super, super clinical with your GBBs, go for something in the Vortex range. The T1s and things like that are absolutely excellent, and definitely in a budget. The UH1 is very expensive, but again, you're paying for what you get for it, and it is an incredible bit of kit. One thing that I didn't mention with the 3x is obviously this has 2 bolts in the bottom of it, just here. Oh, Scott, when will the new items be up? So hopefully the UH1 will be up today. This is already on, the short dot's already on, and the 2 Phantoms will hopefully be on today. But if you're after the UH1, hopefully that will be on later today as well. So the 3x has 2 little screws in the bottom of here that mounts the optic to the flip side. If for whatever reason you're wanting the flip side slightly higher, these have there is a spacer in the box and 2 different size screws, because you can't use the same screws because they're really, really short. So what you have to do is take this off, put the spacer on, and put the 2 longer screws in there. And what that will allow you to do is raise it a little bit higher and make sure it does get a clean picture through the optic that you're using. And again, it does come with lens protectors. So if you are putting this in a box with other bits of equipment, make sure you put them on, because you don't want to crack that glass. So coming to the short dot at the end. So this is the Forester 1-5x24, probably one of my favourite optics that have ever come across us. The glass on these are so clean, very, very cool, and I've loved using short dots all the way from a 1x and flicking them all the way to a 5x whenever I need it. So this one, what we mean by 1-5x24 is the actual tube. The objective lens at the end here is 24mm. With it being a short dot, that objective lens is the same size as tube all the way back until the controls at the back here. 1-5, obviously you have 1x magnification. Flicking this all the way around, it goes all the way to 5. It doesn't click between. You literally have as much adjustment as you need. So you can go 1.5. You can even sit it in between and get 2.5 or 3.5 and just try and get the perfect one that you like. I do like sitting this at sort of 2.5 and just adjusting in between that where I need it during games. Again, 1x perfectly suitable. Yes, it is a very long optic, so if you're running an AR, you still can use this in CQB or if things start getting quite close and tight in woodland. But again, you can just flick this all the way to 5x. Probably not going to be engaging much up to that kind of magnification unless it's on a bolt action, maybe. But having that option is very, very good for scouting positions. You can cleanly sweep across windows, CQB areas, dense woodland, and just see if you can see any movement. So it does have a purpose. This is a turret-style windage adjustment and elevation. So simply pulling these up, rotating them and clicking them back down, completely toolless, so you can do that on the fly. And especially when you're adjusting your magnification, you just might need a little fine adjustment so you can get that nice clean shot when you need it. Again, brightness adjustment. Personally, with short dots, I've never used the actual illuminated optic on it. I think the reticle inside this is perfectly fine as it is, and I've never really needed it lighting up. It does go very, very bright, so if it is an extremely sunny day and you do want it, it does go all the way up to 11, making it very, very easy to use. And again, on the back, we do have the focus adjustment, making it absolutely perfect for absolutely anyone's eyesight. You can make this work on absolutely everything. Do like it on an AR, but again, these work on bolt actions and anything like that. Very, very cool. And they do come with a set of mounts. I've not fitted them because there's a possibility I might scratch the tube and someone might want this one. So, any final questions? If you've got anything about what I've got in front of me, by all means, drop them down below and we will answer them as quickly as I can, but I'll quickly go over a few little bits. So, the dot sights that I've got at the end here, very, very good for CQB. You've got various different options, whether or not it's a big sort of armoured one that gives you a very wide field of view, again with the multi-dot as well, gives you a wild field of view and doesn't really prevent you or anything coming into your peripherals can get hidden by big chunky optics. That gives you sort of freedom of vision. The new 1x22 in the center is very, very good. It's very, very cool because you're not having to undo loads of screws to swap it between a high mount and a low mount. The actual high mount itself is a single bit of riz, so you have a permanent low mount optic that you can just simply attach to the riz bit there, so you're not having to adjust a lot of stuff. You can just bounce it between whichever platform that you want. The 551, just a staple airsoft optic that people have loved for a long, long time, and we've got this new branding that's hopefully going to be very, very popular. Loads of adjustment and controls on the back. The NV button on this, again, just swaps it between red and green, meaning that you've got that option and a load of brightness options as well. The magnifier, again, 3x magnifier. You can just combo this with pretty much any optic out there, and it gives you a massive amount of versatility. Rather than just having a full-blown short dot or anything like that, you can just flip it in and out wherever you need it, and you're good to go. The brand new UH1, compared to the old one, is extremely light. You have the Vortex warranty. The style of optic this is, it's incredible. If you've been looking at one of these, I'd definitely jump on it and try and get one whilst you can. But being a true holographic, you look past the optic and it just cleans itself up really nicely, and it looks awesome. Loads of adjustment with the brightness, with the buttons on the back, and this obviously has the true NV version, so clicking that drops it to an IR system, so you can look at this. If you've got an NV mounted behind it, you've got a very good clean night vision optic. The short dot at the end is one of my personal favourites. I've run short dots for a long, long time and just find that they give a lot of versatility. Running all the way from 1x all the way up to 5x, even on AR, gives just so many options, and it comes with a set of mounts as well, so you're just good to go with it. Works on bolt actions, works on ARs. It's just very, very cool. Having the focus adjustment on the back and the turret style adjustment, again, it's on the fly adjustments that just make your gameplay slightly better, and you can just adjust to the engagement that you're having at the time, rather than maybe having to flip something out the way or try and get closer, get a cleaner shot. And again, with it going all the way to 5x, you just have that option for scouting out rather than engaging at 5x on that. You just you've got that ability where you can take up a position and make sure you've got eyes on a target. If you've got mates sort of approaching, you can just tell them what's going on ahead of them before they get there. Nathan on YouTube, are the mounts universal for the short dot one? The mounts that come with the short dot are just standard low scope mounts, so they mount onto the 20mm. So you Allen key, take all the top bits off, and you've just got a 20mm mount on the bottom, and it comes with two, so you get one either side. But yeah, they will fit on any 20mm rail, and you are good to go with them ones. So, if that's everything for today, we covered a load there. I hope you enjoy it. We really do like doing these comparisons, making sure people get a lot of information as quickly as they can and get any questions that they have got. So if there's anything you want us to look at or compare, by all means drop us a message on Instagram. We'll throw it to the top of the list and make sure we can get that information out to you as quickly as possible. But if that's everything today, it's been great talking to you as always, and we will be back at 4 PM tomorrow for another live stream. Until then, I'll see you in a bit. Bye.